Hello everyone. Today we will discuss about some basic concepts in embedded system. In this session, we will discuss about what is an embedded system, why it is needed in today's world. We will understand some basic applications of embedded system, why a processor is needed in embedded system, and at last we will understand what is a microprocessor and how does it perform its function. So let's start our session. The first question which comes in our mind is, what is an embedded system? An embedded system is a computer system. As we know, in a computer, it has three major components. The first one is input module, which is the keyboard. The second is processing unit, which we term as CPU or central processing unit. And the third is output module, which is the display or monitor. Just like this, an embedded system consists of an input peripheral device such as a sensor, output peripheral device such as LEDs, drive or motor, and a processing unit which we termed as microprocessor. It also has one more major component such as memory unit. This system is designed to do some specific task. It means it has designed just to do a dedicated function. Some of the examples of embedded system are digital camera, chocolate vending machine, washing machine, smart car, etc. This is the basic block diagram of an embedded system. As we can clearly see that there are three major components. First one is the input module, second is the processor, third is the output module. Memory here is required to store the program. The processor, based upon input, executes the program stored in the memory and thus gives us a respective output. Now let's understand why a processor is needed. In this circuit diagram, we can see that it is a basic electrical system. It has a source, switch, and an output device. We know when the switch closes, it means the path for the electric current to flow is complete and the LED bulb glows. This is a very basic system where a switch controls the glow of LED. Consider another system where we have a remote controlled TV. Now, in the previous case, we have seen that there is one switch and one output. But in this case, we have many switches, many buttons on the remote, and there are various channels in the TV. Also, we can notice that there is no physical medium which is attached to the remote and TV. It is just a wireless system. Therefore, we can understand that there is something called processor in the remote which understands the user's input and transmits the signal to the receiver of the TV, and thus the respective channel is played. Means there is some processing capability device in the remote which understands the input of the user. Consider another example of a traffic light system. We know that the LEDs glow in a sequential manner, and that too for a very long time period. How does this system work? If we want to run this system manually, then it will be very hectic for an operator to continuously switch on and off the respective LEDs. Therefore, we can clearly understand that in the previous case of a remote control and in the traffic light system, we need some processing device which processes the input signal and gives the respective output. Now, at last, the points to be noted. The first one, we need a processor to execute a dedicated program. Second, if in a system a task is to be repeated continuously, then a processor is required. Also, where a system can be reprogrammed again and again, we need a processor. Thus, in both these cases which we have discussed, a remote control TV and a traffic light system, we need a processor. It is very important to have a processor to fulfill our three requirements: to execute a dedicated program, repeat continuously, and again reprogram the device. Now the question comes, what is a microprocessor? Microprocessor consists of two different words. One is micro and the other is processor. In 1970s, microchips were invented. The various physical discrete systems which were fabricated a single piece of silicon. All the various components were fabricated on a single piece of silicon, and hence the system became very small, even which we cannot see with our naked eyes. Therefore, we termed as a micro. Processor. A processor is nothing but a processing unit which understands the input based on the program stored in the memory unit. It takes respective action and thus provides us the respective output. Hence, we can now clearly understand what does a microprocessor means.